Hello everyone, welcome back to AITechone.com. My name is Sumit and I am with my new video in Mastering GraphQL API series. Today we are going to talk about aggregations in GraphQL. Ever wondered how to efficiently retrieve summarized data using GraphQL? So today we are going to dive into aggregations in GraphQL, a powerful way to get insight from your data without complex queries. So in this video, I will be going to demonstrate you how to write a GraphQL query, and we'll see how do we write GraphQL queries, and we'll see the results of it. We'll generate the results out of that. So if you are excited to level up your GraphQL skills, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss an update. So let's jump in and see how aggregation works in GraphQL. So I'm into my Salesforce platform, and we'll be going to see how do we write the queries. So first of all, let me show you what I have done. So as you can see, I have already connected. I have already opened my entire platform, and we will be going to test our GraphQL queries over here. So I have already write a simple query. As you can see, there's a simple query I have written right now. And in this query, what we are doing, we will be simply querying the records from the account object. So I'm going to make a change into this. And the first thing I'm going to do is let me change this query name. Instead of get account, I just say get opportunity, and send a request. So you can see, we'll be displaying here only opportunity ID and opportunity name. So you can see here opportunity ID and opportunity name. In the previous videos, you might have I've explained about filtering the queries. How do we apply filters in queries? How do we apply sorting in GraphQL queries? So today I'll tell you about the aggregations. Now, what do you mean by aggregations? Let's try a query first in SOQL, and then we'll try to replicate the same in GraphQL. So I just write here, select stage name, comma, stage name, amount from opportunity. So when I query this, stage name. So you can see select stage name, comma, amount from opportunity, and that's a total amount for this stage qualification. That's for individual. That's for every individual record. If I say ID also, so this is an opportunity ID. That's a stage of that record, and that's the amount. So my requirement is I want to apply an aggregation, and I would like to display the total amount. I just want to display the sum of amount, the overall amount. So I don't want to group by anything. So therefore, I just write a query here, select sum of amount from opportunity. And when we execute this, you can see that's the overall amount. That's the overall amount here. Okay, that's the overall amount. That's a sum of amount. So how are we going to display the total amount where we do not want any grouping? If we don't want any grouping, then how can we display this? Or else, if I wanted to display the amount by group by stage name. But first of all, we'll see where we'll be going to display the sum of amount. So for this opportunity is there. The only thing I have to do is we need to add an aggregate one. So let me remove this for better understanding. I'm going to rewrite the query for you. So query will be using here UI API. Here we'll be using aggregate. So aggregate basically it is used to perform the queries that group and aggregate over records. And I would like to apply an aggregation over records. So aggregate on opportunity, edges, node, node. Here we have to use aggregate because we are going to apply an aggregate. And I just write here aggregate and amount. So amount is the field. So amount, sum of amount, sum of value. And when I execute this, you can see the overall value, the total sum is this much. So we can compare this. Yes, it's equivalent to same. That's the same before. Same out. Now, if I want to display the total sum of amount stage wise, so here I'm going to add stage name. But you know that whenever we apply, whenever we add an aggregation, and if we are including any field, so then we need to add a grouping also. If I execute this query, you can see field must be grouped or aggregated together. So here I'm going to write here what I just write here, group by stage name. And when I execute this, we can see close loss. That's the total amount, negotiation review and all. Let's see how do we replicate this here. So we have to group by stage name. So after this opportunity, I write here group by stage name, group stage name, colon, group colon true. And I need to include that field also. So I want to display name. So stage name value, and send a request. So you can see close lost 400, negotiation review 3,95,000, and so on. So that's the way we can get the response. So same response we are getting over here. That's the way we display this. So this is the way we can apply a grouping. Now, if we want to sorting, we can apply sorting also. We can apply order by. That's how do we apply order, that you can try that out. Now, I would like to display the account names and the sum of amount, sum of annual revenue from account together. So I would like to display the amount, account name, and as well as the amount also, this total amount. So let me change this query. Let me cut this query and I'm going to rewrite a query again. I'm going to rewrite a query. And for that, I'll start with query get account query UI API. Now here I need to display account first of all. So I write query account edges node, and I want to display name. So ID and name, ID and name, its value. So if I run this, it will display only name of the opportunity and name of the account. Now we need to display the aggregation also. So where are we going to display the aggregation? So in order to display the aggregation, that aggregation will display after. So the edges, sorry. So I would like to include the aggregate. So I want to display aggregate also. So after this query, basically, after this query, and inside the UI API, I aggregate. I just write aggregate here, aggregate and account, aggregate account, edges, node. And here I need to display the sum of annual revenue. So here I write here aggregate and annual revenue, sum of display sum on annual revenue, and will be displaying the value. So when we send a request, what happened? You can see the account names, and at the end you can see the total of revenue. That's the overall revenue. That's the total of that's the total or sum of account which we are displaying at the end. So first we display all the account names, and at the end we'll be displaying the revenue out of it, total sum of revenue. And if you want to display, you can consider like this, that we have the account names. If you we can display the annual revenue also, annual revenue, display value, and at the end we'll be displaying the overall total of this, all the annual revenues together at the end. That will be going to display. Now, the next requirement is I wanted to display the distinct industry from the account. So for example, we have select name, comma, industry from account. So account name, comma, industry from account. So we have electronics, apparels, constructions, consulting, hospitality, engine, energy. So there are many records. So few of the records are missing. But yes, we have the records and I just want to display the distinct industry. So how can we do this? Select count of count underscore distinct industry from account. And when I execute this, you can see there are total 13 industries. Same thing I want to replicate here. So how do we do this? We'll get back and I'm going to do a modifications. So let me remove this and we are going to write this query again. And UI API aggregate, and I want an aggregation on account, edges, node. Now we need to apply an aggregate again. So I write aggregate and we want aggregate on industry. We want to apply an aggregate on industry. And the value we want to display is count underscore count distinct. And we want to display value of it. So when we run, we can display 13, total 13. And if you want to display total count also, so after edges, I can write here. So after edges, so I just write here value and edges. So after edges, I write here total count. So we can just check it out. See, overall account we have is 29 accounts, and out of 29 accounts, so the distinct industries will be 13 distinct industries we have. 13 distinct industries. Now I'm going to come with a complex query, and first of all, let's see that query in our SOQL. So the query here is, I would like to display sum of amount, comma, name of account from opportunity where all the opportunities, we want to display only those opportunities which is still open. So is closed is equals to false, and their probability of closing is above greater than 60. Probability is greater than 60 and grouped by name. So when we execute this, so these are the opportunities which are still open and their probability of closing will be greater than 60. So this is, I would like to, I just want to replicate the same thing in GraphQL. So let's see how do we do this. So in order to write this query, we'll start with UI API and we have to apply an aggregation. So I write here aggregate on opportunity edges node, and we want to display first of all aggregate name, value, and amount sum of value. So if we run this, then what happened? See the response. There's an error coming. Why the error coming up? Because we did not add the group by. So we have to add a grouping here. So let's add a group by here first of all, because without grouping, it's not going to work. So I just write here where group by name colon group colon true. So group by name, that is the first thing. So it is going to display opportunity name and the sum of value. But at the same time, we need to include, we need to apply this filter also. So therefore, we need to add a filter. And for the filter, we'll be going to use where colon, and it's a multi-filter. The reason multi-filter, because we have two conditions to add. So I'll just write where colon and colon. The first condition is closed colon equals to false. Is closed equals to false, comma. The second condition is probability colon greater than colon 60. And when we execute this, and at the end, we can display the total records also. So after edges, we can display here total count. So total 5 records are here. And when we execute this query here also, we are getting the total 5 records. So like this way, we can apply and aggregate functions in GraphQL query. That's how we apply aggregation functions on GraphQL query. So that's all for the day. That's all in this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe this channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and post your comments. See you soon. Have a nice day. Goodbye.